Guys, happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's coming up on 6 a.m. in the morning. This is going to be one of those let's just cut the bullshit videos. I want to talk about dreamers, immigration, Trumpers, and the future of America. I saw a story yesterday on dreamers, and this is the whole thing with dreamers. You guys know the kids that were brought here by parents illegally that have hopes of going to school and doing good here. In other words, not breaking the law on their own. Their parents broke the law, but they're given a chance to dream, to start new here, to go to school and start businesses. I thought it was great. I think in a lot of ways, it probably benefits the United States and us. If you look through history, through our recent history of some of the great inventions and discoveries, vaccines and whatnot, that were discovered by people that immigrated here. We could be denying ourselves. I think we are denying ourselves when we're kicking so many possible positive additions to our country out. Anyway, I saw a story on another, I can't remember his name, is it in California? Kid going to school, didn't break any laws or anything, but he is in jail now. He was a dreamer, DACA. His family have barely been able to get a hold of him. And when they have gotten a hold of him, they've gotten these horror stories that he's sleeping on the floor, that people are defecating right next to him on the floor. This is happening right now, in January 2020. This guy had hopes going to school. His parents brought him here when he was young, illegally, as if you want to call it that. But he had hopes of going to school, getting a good job. And there's thousands, tens of thousands of these kids getting kicked out. And Trump supporters will inevitably go to, they broke the law. They have to fill out the necessary forms. They're stealing our Social Security. And that's all just bullshit. We're not talking about gang members. We're not talking about criminals. We're talking about people, young kids that are going to become good working members of society, a benefit to our society. And the only reason Trumpers want them kicked out is because they're brown. They speak Spanish. Let's just cut the shit. That's what it's about. And you know what? Here's the bottom line. I believe this. It all goes back to a consensus, the national census, or a report going back years, probably in the 70s or 80s, that eventually whites will be a minority in this country and worldwide eventually. And I remember family members, people around me being all, oh my God, feeling terrible. And I know, that's part of the reason for Trump. That's part of the reason for Trumpism. It's a fear. It's a fear that white people in general feel that this is their country. White WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, this is their country. They must remain in power. I think because they were, because of slavery and Native Americans and how they were treated, I think maybe a lot of these people believe that if they become a minority, that it'll be retribution, that they'll be treated badly. I think of a lot of it is projection. The way they look at minorities now in a racial, prejudice, discriminatory way, they feel that, well, of course, if I look, they project. If that's how they look at minorities now, then that's how, when they're a minority, how people look at them. They fear, in other words, they fear being treated like how they're treating people now, bottom line. They fear that the roosters, their chickens are going to come home to roost. What comes around goes around, karma, call it whatever you want. That's the bottom line. That's what's going on in America right now with Trumpers. It's a fear. That's the whole reason that they know Trump's an idiot. They see him speak. They don't miss that. They're not. It's not just a perception difference. They know that Trump doesn't have the knowledge. He has no knowledge of history, American history. He has no respect for the Constitution. And basically, the Trumpers, their fear of becoming a minority overrides all of that. Because they know Trump is just like them. Trump doesn't like brown people. He likes, he's a white person and he wants white people to stay in power. Bottom line, I believe this is just the no nonsense, cut to the chase. Bottom line, I think, and most of these Trumpers remember this report. They're older. They're the baby boomers. They remember this report about Caucasians becoming a minority. I remember, I was young, but I remember the reactions around me, the adults back then. And it was one of fear. Oh my God, no, oh my gosh, you believe this? We're going to be a minority someday. And it's stuck in their heads. And that's how Trump got elected. That's what's keeping him in power. That's Trumpers, their fear of becoming a minority overrides all their common sense. That we have a man that's corrupt. And then I think they use excuses about the economy being great. I don't think Trump supporters are stupid. I think they're intelligent. I think they're scared. I think they're fearful. They're very, very fearful of people that don't look like them, that don't talk like them, don't believe the same things they do. And they're scared that someday they are going to be treated just as badly as they have treated other people. That's what it all comes down to, all of this nonsense. I believe this is one of the underlying fear that's driven this whole Trumpism thing. I think it all can go back to this report back in the 70s or 80s, that eventually white people will become under 49% of the United States population. That's it. No nonsense, no bullshit rundown of why Trump is president right now and why there is such a hardcore base that in Trump's own words, he said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and people would still vote for him. This is another reason why. Because people's fears. They fear that, their world's going to end. Because if God forbid they ever become the minority, that they'll be treated so badly, because they've treated people badly. And that's it. That's what it all comes down to. This no nonsense, no bullshit minute has been brought to you by Daryl P., Artist in Recovery. You guys have a good Wednesday.